It's been 50 years since the 1975 Cincinnati Reds became world champions, one of the greatest teams in baseball history, loaded with Hall of Famers, All-Stars, and fan favorites. The Big Red Machine ran like clockwork. Today, we're celebrating their incredible season by going through the starting lineup, the manager who held it all together, and some classic baseball cards that bring those legends to life. Let's rewind the clock back to 1975, right into the heart of Riverfront Stadium.
The 75-76 team, I can say this. How do you explain it right? They were all men. Had no babies. They were no babies. They were tough. And they never got scared. You're never going to scare them. I used to say to myself, are these guys stupid? Don't they understand that we've lost 5 in a row? I said, I'm scared to death. I told my coach, George Sugar, I said, hey, Sugar Bear, we might not win another game. He started laughing. He said, get out of here. But, I'd get uptight and nervous. These guys, they'd laugh at you because I said, these guys don't ever get nervous. No, I'm going to tell you something. When you want to talk about fun, oh my goodness, how could you ever have that much fun? I had that much fun in '84 with the Tigers, but you're talking about over a long period. Nobody ever wants to tell me that they'd ever shame those 2 clubs or shame any of those clubs. Some of the ones that didn't win should have won. I didn't get it done, but they were great clubs.
Captain Hook managed with guts and instinct. He was famous for quick hooks on pitchers and trusting his bullpen, and it worked. Sparky led this team like a symphony. He never played a major league game, but he managed his way into the Hall of Fame.
Now the Boston fans are becoming uneasy. I can't imagine Rose sitting out 3 days with the rain. There's a line shot to center. Here's a man rounding third. Here comes the throw. It is not in time. The other runners advance, and the Reds have tied it and have runners on second and third. Griffey scored easily. Lynn's throw was wide of the plate. Armbruster raced to third, and Rose went down to second on the throw to the plate.
Here's the ball hit out to Freddie Lynn, center field. Griffey with a good speed off second. Nobody in cutoff position for the Red Sox. A fundamental mistake, allowing a runner, Pete Rose, to go into second.
At 34, Pete Rose still played like he was 24. He hit .317, scored 112 runs, and led the league in doubles. He was the NLCS MVP and the emotional spark of this team. Wherever you put Pete, left field, third base, first, he gave everything. The ultimate competitor.
There's a looper, may drop. It's in for a hit. Here comes a throw to third. Rose hits the dirt, he's safe, and there goes Morgan down to second. And the Reds have the lead 4-3 as Joe Morgan blooped a base hit into center field, scoring Griffey from third. The throw from Lynn to third was too late. Rose hitting the dirt there, and on the throw to third, going down to second, is Joe Morgan.
Little Joe was the league MVP in '75, and rightly so. He hit .327, walked 132 times, stole 67 bases, and played Gold Glove defense. No one in baseball had a more complete skill set. He was the brain, the engine, and the soul of the Big Red Machine.
Johnny Bench is the hitter.
5, Johnny Bench.
Bench looking for an outside pitch, gets it, and hits an opposite field double.
the greatest catcher of his era, maybe all time. Bench hit 28 home runs in '75 and knocked in 110 and called every pitch with precision. Behind the plate, he shut down base runners and guided the pitching staff. He was a leader in every sense.
There's his blooper pitch. There it is. A high drive. He was waiting for that one. That one is gone over everything. Perez timed that blooper pitch and slammed it over the screen out on the Lansdowne Street. And now we have another one-run ball game in this World Series.
That was a tape measure home run as the Cincinnati fans come alive. Mr. and Mrs. Bob Howsam alongside the dugout. He almost looked like he was waiting for it. And you wonder if Bench had something to do with it down on second, relaying some signs, which can't happen with a catcher on second.
Tony Perez now has had 3 homers.
Clutch. That's the word for Tony Perez. He batted in 109 runs in '75, hit 20 home runs, and brought a steady leadership to the clubhouse. When a big moment came, Big Doggy delivered. Without flash, just results.
The left fielder, Foster, moves over to the line. He's not quite as shallow as the other 2 outfielders. The infield is in as well. It's all right here, Joe. Here it is. High fly ball, left field. Foster's got a shot. They're tagging up at third. Here comes the throw. It is in time. Doyle is out. Foster to bench. A double play. Here is the throw. Foster made the catch in foul territory. He needed a perfect throw to keep the Reds from losing this game, and it was. And Bench make the swipe tag.
Foster was just getting warmed up in '75. He hit 23 home runs in only 134 games and started showing the power that would make him an MVP in just 2 years. His bat gave the Reds serious muscle in the middle of the lineup.
I closed out the season very, very strong. In fact, he had .340 the final month of the year and closed out the year with a 9-game hitting streak. He hits one a ton back into left center field. Looking up is Yastrzemski. It's gone. A home run. David Concepcion taking the grand tour as he takes Rick Wise downtown with a shot to left center field, and well, the Reds go out in front 3-1.
No matter what happens the rest of this ball game, win or lose, the headlines in the Venezuelan papers are going to be Concepcion, and that's front page. That's what happened in the championship series when he homered against Pittsburgh. You mentioned those 2 names, Perez and Aparicio, played against both Marty and Kurt. Concepcion has more all-around ability than either of them.
Davey was the defensive anchor of the infield. Quick hands, great arm, and a .274 average with 33 stolen bases. He made the spectacular look routine and was a key cog in both halves of the game.
Well hit to left center. It's in there. A run will score. It goes to the wall. Picked up by Lynn. Double. And it's Reds 3, Red Sox 2. Ken Griffey with 2 strikes on him, behind on the count, 1-2, picked on the fastball and found the alley with a clutch double. And the Reds have gone ahead for the first time in the series.
Griffey brought speed, consistency, and a smooth swing. He hit .305 in '75, scored 95 runs, and was a spark in the lineup. He kept rallies alive and played smart baseball. A rising star on a team full of legends.
You see a pitcher actually come to bat for the Reds tonight, Joe.
Dick, I was just looking down there to see who was going to be there, and I saw Barbona. I had to double check there because that's really been what's been happening with the pinch hitters. Well hit right field. That ball, if it's fair, she's gone. It is a fair ball. Home run for Geronimo. Geronimo, a fair ball, a home run right down that right field line. And it's a 6-3 ball game. That's his second home run in this series. And on the first pitch in the 8th inning, here comes Daryl Johnson. First pitch, Geronimo, a home run.
And Cincinnati getting a little bit closer to a World Championship as Daryl Johnson makes the call to his bullpen, the left-hander Moret. The Reds just 6 outs away. Their last World Championship was in 1940.
You couldn't hit a ball past him in center. Geronimo won his second Gold Glove that year, hit .257, and gave the Reds rock-solid defense and great athleticism. He was one of the best 8-hole hitters in the league.
1 ball, 2 strikes.
You know, Ned, you mentioned he's only 24. He's pitching in his 7th World Series game at that very tender age.
Got a few good years ahead of him, I'd say. There's a base hit by Gullett into the opposite field. Stings one out there. So Bill Lee is starting to pitch a Legion type of game. He'll give up a lot of hits, but he'll induce the ground ball in a double play.
At just 24, Gullett was the Reds' ace. He went 15-4 with a 2.42 ERA and was lights out in the postseason. He had a calm presence on the mound, mixed speeds beautifully, and rose to every big moment when the Reds needed him the most. 50 years ago, this team gave Reds fans a season they'll never forget. A team with stars at every position, heart in the dugout, and hustle on every play. They weren't just champions, they were a machine, the big red machine.
2 down, nobody on. Joe Morgan's bloop single right now is the difference. Top of the 9th inning, he put the Reds ahead. There's a high fly ball. It should be all over. Geronimo's under it. And Cincinnati has won the World Championship, beating the Boston Red Sox 4-3. The Reds win it in Fenway Park. Them and the veterans on this team have been very frustrated. They wanted this one badly after winning 108 times this year, setting all kinds of records. It would have been a deep disappointment for them not to win. But they ran up against a ball club that extended them right down to the final inning of Game 7. This was the Reds' 115th victory tonight.